Hi, my name is Jeannie, and for today's topic, I will be explaining the concept of the 10 worlds. So, the 10 worlds in Nichiren Buddhism, it's kind of hard to grasp, but I will try my best to explain it in a very easy way, easy manner, and also what you call that, use terms that would be better able to explain the concept. So basically, the 10 worlds is this concept in Nichiren Buddhism that we see the world through our level of consciousness, and or to put it simply, through our lenses, through our own point of view, or our own perspective, or through our own filters. So I think that's the right word, filter. So whatever level of consciousness or the world that you're at that moment will define how you see the world. You will filter out everything else and will just look through that lens of that level of consciousness of your mind. So the 10 worlds are hell, hunger, anger, animality, tranquility or humanity, and heaven. And that's the lower 6 worlds, which means that they are based on external circumstances and it's not something within your control, and the upper or the higher 4 worlds are learning, realization, Bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. So Buddhahood is the highest level that we aim to attain. As Nichiren Buddhists, when we chant the mantra Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we try to attain this level of consciousness, level of mind, a filter or a lens, if you would like to call it, just seeing the world through a higher perspective. It's like an elevator, I guess, and the lower 6 worlds are on the lower floor, and the Buddhahood is actually not even on the top floor, but it's actually above the planet Earth. You can see everything, what's going on, and you understand everything because you see the world through a different parameter, different lens, through wisdom and through just understanding how life works. And therefore, you do not define or you do not judge things as separate, and there's no separateness. You see the connection in humanity and of life. So that's just what you call that, the simplest explanation of the 10 worlds, but I will go with it more deeply. I will explain with it more deeply. So hell is, the lowest consciousness of mind. It's a filter. So I think I discussed this in my video 3 years ago, but I didn't really look at it in depth, or I didn't explain it in depth, and it's more timely right now. Hell. Right now, a lot of people are looking through their life through hellish conditions, through a hellish, they think that life is hell right now. They probably lost their jobs. Right now, probably they are in like a really low life state where they feel that there's no hope right now. But when they chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, they are able to get outside of that level of mind, that filter, that lens that they're looking at the world at, and then they realize that even hell is temporary and it doesn't last forever. So those people that are trapped in hell right now because of the uncertainty of the coronavirus, losing their jobs, just experiencing death in the family, that is a hellish condition right now, because you are in deep anguish and deep hurt and deep suffering, and just know that it is temporary. But when you are unable to get outside of that level of mind, you can chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to elevate your life condition. It's like pushing the button for the elevator, that you would elevate your life, or you could remove your lens or your filter and then put on the lens of a higher consciousness. In neuroscience, they have discovered that we operate through different brain waves, with theta being like the highest brain wave where there's healing. So similarly, in when you chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, your brain waves change. So when your brain wave pattern changes, also your level of mind, your level of consciousness can slowly shift and change. So if you are in hell right now and you're listening to this video, you can try chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and try to elevate your life beyond this lens and beyond this perspective and point of view that you're at right now, which is a hellish suffering state. And then there's hunger. Again, this is related to the other lower life condition of hell, which is hunger. Could just mean literally actual hunger, or hunger which means you're never satiated. Let's say sex addicts or drug addicts, they are always hungry. People that are craving for attention, hungry, they can never be fulfilled. That is part of the world of hunger as well. And it could also literally mean actual hunger right now, not just psychologically or spiritually or mental hunger, but it could also mean physical hunger as well. Know that also this state of life is also just temporary, and it will not last as well. It will, if you chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, you can actually bypass this and actually elevate your life condition or your level of consciousness or your level of mind, and change your point of view or perspective about life, that this is also a temporary condition. Hell, hunger. Then there's anger. So anger, actually noticed, especially right now, let's not mention names, but there's a particular group right now, they're so angry and they feel that they've been disenfranchised. I notice with these people is they are full of anger and resentment, and they create a separation, and then they create like the other. And it also goes on the other side as well, if you know what I mean, that, oh, I don't like this person because this person supported this candidate, or this person supported this candidate, and then they're clashing and angry at each other without realizing that that is a lens and a filter that they're looking through, and that creates unhappiness ultimately, and that also creates destruction. So anger, a lot of teenagers right now, they're very angry at the world, very destructive, and violence is a byproduct of this life condition, of this level of mind. But know too that even anger is also temporary, but people are so fixated on this life condition, there's no way that they feel that they can get out of it, but there actually is. And if this is your baseline, and you're suffering right now because you are full of anger at everybody, anger at yourself, creating a separation and a distinction between other people, and just clashing with everybody, and if a lot of people are very violent, know that you are looking at the world through this level of mind, and this will not ultimately lead you to be happy, because this will create unhappiness and suffering and division and just destruction, And a lot of people right now are very angry at the government, angry at maybe the virus, and angry at certain nations or certain group of people, for this virus. And I understand that, but again, that is not looking at the higher perspective of things, which is because I have met people that they're really angry that this virus is like spreading, and no one's doing anything, or that this virus is just uncontrollable. And people are also angry that they are asked to wear masks, or they're asked to social distance, or they're asked to do stuff that they feel that hinders or doesn't really, it goes against their personal right. So that anger as well. But do know that if you look at history as well, humanity had a chance to actually learn from the lessons of the past pandemics, but no one is cooperating because people are creating divisions and separations and not realizing that we are in it together, we are connected. And unfortunately, I got sick with the corona, and because it was just a community spread was so high. And at one time I was really angry, but right now I'm just like, okay, what can I do constructively as well? So to get me outside of that world of anger as well and anguish, that self-destructiveness as well, I chanted a lot of Nam-myoho Renge Kyos. So I really did chant. So anger, animality. So animality is competitiveness, people that are just using their animal instincts to subdue other people, just baser instincts. And maybe in science we call it, or biology we call it, the reptilian mind, just operating at that level of mind, just instincts, pure instincts. And it's you're greedy and you're out to get other people. It's just it knows no reason and rationality, and that's also the lens which you look your life through, or the perspective or point of view, level of consciousness, frequency, whatever you would like to call it, but it's what you're operating at. And know as well that that too is not, it's also temporary. That is, and it can change, things can change. But if you're stuck there, and you're not happy being in that world of animality, and we know a lot of people, especially example like in the corporate world as well, they're very competitive, highly competitive, and they just lose sight of their humanity. It's like, it's greediness and it's anger and hunger. It's like baser instincts as well. And it's also subduing other people, or subjugating people. That's also the world of animality. It's very reptilian brain, just baser instincts, subduing women, subjugating women, or it could be the other way around. And it really doesn't matter what gender you are or what your social status is. If this is your baseline, this is your level of mind, or the lens that you see the world at, or how you filter the world, or your filter, this will not lead you to be happy as well. And then there's tranquility, which is basically people who are at peace. They're like thinking that, oh, I'm at peace right now, I'm just gonna meditate in my cave, or just everything's peaceful right now. And then, but suddenly when their peace is broken, it can be very what you call that, it could create disharmony on their part. Because know as well that even tranquility that is, or humanity that is based on what you call that, based on denying that there's an external world that can influence you moment by moment, and you cannot just escape, because this is temporary as well. You cannot escape reality as well. This is also temporary and not really realistic, because we have to be aware that life is constantly changing all the time, and we may have moments of peace, but when how can you have moments of peace when your neighbor is suffering? Or right now, like we have the coronavirus and it's raging, there's a raging pandemic. How can you accomplish that sort of peace when you don't see it reflected outside of yourself as well? So remember, there's a dance between the internal and the external, and then that dance is very, very, there must be a balance as well, And then there's heaven or rapture. So this one is also based on external circumstances as well. it means that, let's say you achieved your goal, you got a promotion, or you got huge raise, or you got a new job, new relationship, new car, or anything that is your desire, or your whatever you wished for and hoped for came true. But realize as well, it's based on external circumstances, and this is temporary as well, because in the next couple months, maybe just next couple weeks, what you're feeling right now, which is elation, rapture, and just being like in a state of heaven, it is also temporary, and it can stop at any time. And again, if it's based on external circumstances, but you can achieve balance if you just realize that, yes, I appreciate and I'm grateful for maybe the accomplishments of my goals right now, but I know to be grateful because, like, you know, other things are gonna be happening as well that we will not be able to predict, but know that you are still grateful, you know. So, but again, these 6 lower worlds are based on, you know, you are more affected by what goes on outside your reality or external stimulus. You are being influenced by external reality or external stimulus, and your happiness is really just based on outside circumstances. But when you attain, or when you actually strive for the higher 4 levels of mind, or 4 worlds, which is learning, realization, Bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. So, but ultimately, Nichiren Buddhism, when we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we are actually aiming for the highest life condition, which is the world of Buddhahood, which is full of wisdom, and you just see everything and you understand everything, and you know how the world works. And instead of seeing separation and division, you see the connection in all life, and how you can affect how important you are as an individual in changing the outside circumstances, outside reality and society. You will be a force of influence if you are in the life condition of Buddhahood, and you will be embracing your full humanity with full awareness that it is a responsibility to achieve that happy life state, because you know that no matter what happens, no matter what external circumstances happen, you are still in control of your life, and you can change and mold your destiny. And that is really what everybody should aspire to be or to achieve in this lifetime. And so learning, so I when I started chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I was at the baseline of hell, which was depression, clinical depression. And I just slowly went through the lower 6 worlds, just elevated my life condition to the point that my baseline right now, I may go through hell. That doesn't mean that I don't go through hell or suffering or anger. I go through those phases, but I can snap out of it really fast. It's only because I've been chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 14 years now. It's going to be my 14th anniversary coming soon, and I'm really excited for that. And it's because I've been chanting and really trying to be the master of my own mind. So I realized that my baseline is learning, realization, Bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. So that's my baseline right now. I can easily go back up there, or in this life condition, in this life state. I may be feeling unhappy, but at times, but I can easily snap out of it. And learning just means that you're learning how the world works. And I realized that I had the potential to learn new things, because when I started the practice, I started really late in life. Some people, they have this practice when they're young, and unfortunately I didn't have that good fortune, but I'm still fortunate because I still discovered this practice of chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to change the lens or the filter that I see the world at, or in, or through. So there's learning. So I realized that I've always wanted to learn. Like, I have so many skills, and I always explore, and I'm always taking classes, self-improvement classes, anything you can think of, cooking classes, workshops, script writing, videography, photography, and everything, like, and even just reading about Buddhism, reading about psychology, reading about subconscious mind. I'm just constantly learning, and it has become more of my baseline. When I started chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it just became like, I just really love to explore and learn new things. And then there's realization. Realization is when you realize that, when you have your own experiences and you realize that, hey, what I did, when you're able to have that wisdom, that, and realization that what you went through had a benefit or meant something or had a purpose. That's also realization. Could mean taking responsibility for your mistakes, taking responsibility for your life, and just realizing as well that we are not separate, that we're more connected than we think, and that whatever I do right now has an effect on other people, and hopefully it's a positive effect, which is always my goal. And then there's Bodhisattva. So Bodhisattva is, in other practices, they call it sainthood. I came from another religious background. It is believing that you have to help other people, that you don't live in isolation, and then you also have to help and empower other people to become their best selves, and to show them the tools. And the way that I do that actually is by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and teaching other people to do the same. And not only that as well, I actually coach people to achieve their goals and their dreams. And actually, I have helped a bunch of people. I do my own, I have my own practices and techniques that I use on people. So that is, in a way, Bodhisattva, which is, you are not just in the practice of self-improvement, it's also in the practice of helping, empowering other people, but not in an egotistical way, but more like as a contribution to other people, And then there's Buddhahood, which is that life condition where you are just happy because you realize that life is so precious, and that life is really more connected than we think, and that we have an effect on the world, and that there really is no separation. And the thing I like about Nichiren Buddhism, although a lot of humans, because we as humans, we like to label things, but the thing that I find that's so different about Nichiren Buddhism is that it really is not, it is classified as a religion, but the way I look at it, it is more like a spiritual practice, because it's more like looking at the human and not putting labels, and not saying that this person is this religious affiliation, or this person has this gender, or identifies as this gender, or identifies as this political, they have a political affiliation, or they support this candidate, or whatever. In Nichiren Buddhism, we don't see things that way. We see a human being, and a human being that wants to be happy, and then wants to no longer suffer, or wants to be free of suffering, and wants just peace, and wants contribution, and wants inner happiness and indestructible happiness. So we don't look at humans as having labels. We just see humans as humans, And I'm so really proud that I'm part of this organization, the SGI Sokagahai, because it's so wonderful when you actually, and I've never really thought about it, but when you join a meeting, there's so much diversity and people come from all religious backgrounds. You would not imagine. I actually met he comes from a religious group, you know, where they dress differently. They have, it was pretty distinct that he came from that religious background, but he was in the center. And then I asked him, oh, are you chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo? And he said, yes, I'm chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. But he was in his full, you know, religious attire. And I asked him, oh, you know, why are you chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo? He said he wants to be happy. And he said he's actually very happy that since he started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. And it was wonderful because we don't look at humans as having labels, although that is how humans work. You know, we want to create separation based on the color of our skin, based on our geographic location, based on our country of origin, based on the language that we speak. But Nichiren Buddhists believe that all humans have the capacity for Buddhahood, no matter what religious background they belong to, whatever political affiliation they belong to, whatever their origins are, or however they label themselves. Doesn't matter to us. We see you as a human being, and we see you as having the potential to achieving Buddhahood, no matter which level of consciousness you come from, because even me that I've been chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, I can easily fall into the lower life conditions and just be suffering. But because I have this practice, I have a tool that I can instantly, sometimes not instantly, but I have a tool that will change my life in an instant at that moment, you know, and I'm not trapped in hell. I'm not trapped in anger, and I'm not trapped in that pattern of destruction. I can get out of it. And I can see myself more clearly, and I can change my lens whenever I want to, and that I have a choice actually of changing the filter that I'm filtering the world as. And it's just really it is a very wonderful practice, and that's why I continue to actually to spread the word about it. Again, it might not be for you because this teaching is not for everybody. It's only for people that are ready to define themselves as human beings that really desire happiness and love, and just wants to get rid of that label, you know, and that separation. Because when I started practicing, my family didn't understand me as well, but my dad, he was very accepting, and he said, you know what, you know, as long as you're happy. And that was, for me, I think everybody should have that in their life. Everybody should have a family member or a friend that would encourage them to do things that makes them happy. And this is the thing that I find that makes me happy, and then I find that makes other people happy as well, because it's really, we are not looking at humans as other. We are looking at humans as humans with the potential and the desire for true happiness and love and contribution and all the positive things and potential in a human being that a human being can have. And everybody has Buddhahood. Everybody has the potential to be a Buddha. They really do, and that's my message. And if this resonates with you, please go to the resources below. I'll type it out on the show notes, and I will also post my email if you have any questions. And I really do appreciate that you're listening to this video, and do spread the word if this resonates with you, and if you just really want to start looking at the world through a different pair of eyes, a higher perspective, you would like to call it. And the fact is, this practice really works because I started from the bottom. I'm living proof, actually, that this practice works, because I was trapped in hell for years. I literally was. That's why I'm the best teacher, because I actually went through all of the life conditions, and I continue to do that as well. But I can easily turn it around, or I can make something positive into something that's negative. It's only because I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and know that you do have a choice, and know that humans should stop, separating themselves from each other, because we're in this planet together, and whether we like it or not, we have to live with each other. Thank you very much for listening, and do subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.